this turns into me shading everyone I graduated with. And it still affects me to this day. I'll get him. Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying again. I hate myself. Well, I didn't know we were gonna get that deep. Okay. Before I start this video, I just want to put a little disclaimer. If you get triggered really easily and are looking for advice, this video is not for you, to say the least. I'm going to be talking about what made my senior year absolute hell and why it freaking sucked. I'm going to try to keep the profanity on a low. We'll see how that goes. Also, if you're new to my channel, hi, make sure you subscribe. I know like 80% of my views are from people who've never seen me before. But anyways, in all seriousness, guys, I've never struggled so much and hated every ounce of my life until senior year of high school happened. Like, I was always a happy person and I really enjoyed school. But senior year did not bless me. It actually literally crucified me, called me Jesus, and hanged me on the cross because I fucking died during that year. Before I keep diving in, maybe grab a snack. I have a feeling this is going to be a long one and it's not going to have too many edits because I know it's going to be a long one and I'm supposed to be posting this right now and yet I'm filming it. I love being productive. So the painfulness of senior year starts before senior year even starts, okay? Let me explain to you what I mean. So, you know, you schedule your classes the year before, like what you want to take. And I think instantly a red flag to me should have been, oh, Danielle, maybe you shouldn't have taken AP Stats. And people are like, well, Danielle, why'd you take it if you fucking hated it so much? In my mind, I'm thinking, I didn't sign up for this. Let me explain. So, I was supposed to be taking Calc BC, okay? It's one of the, like, highest math courses you can take at my high school. And it overlapped with my sequenettes. So my dancing, my more, like, artistic class that I was going to take anyways. And I had to choose one or the other because there was only one class of sequenettes and one class of Calc BC. I should have chose sequenettes and not have done a math. But you wanna know what they told me when I was in the office and they told me I had to choose? They're like, we can just sign you up for stats. And I was like, okay. And it sounds good for like the first 3 weeks when you're talking about biases and variables that you already know all the information. And it's literally BS that you had to spend 5 days to discover what a bias was. And then shit hits the fan, the teacher gets biased, and you hate your life. That's the basis of stats. If you're in it right now and you still have like the drop time, do yourself a favor. I don't think I had so much like anxiety build up as I did like after I left that class. Should I go in chronological order? No, I'm just gonna keep rambling. So, this is probably, I'm talking about like, we'll talk about the worst part of it and then we'll get better. Oh my gosh, I love morals. I love being in distress. So, stats, first half of the year, hated every breathing second of it. The only thing that I liked in that class was my friend Aaron, my friend Nicole, and this guy Sebastian, who was from Austria, and that was just cool. Except he was like very cocky, and I wasn't into it. Oh, I actually made a noise. Wow, I'm proud of myself. So, in stats, teachers talking, everything I write down is wrong, because I guess you can't have your own opinion in stats. I follow the format, it's still wrong. And I basically end up leaving that 7th period class crying every day. As I walk to my 8th period class, well, I normally didn't break down until I got to my 8th period class, because I'm not going to cry in front of everyone, like, gotta be a little more ballsy than that, am I right? So I get to 8th period, I'm there with my 2 best friends, and every time I just look at them, I start crying. Like, it was absolute torture being there. Absolute torture. And then 8th period, since it was my best friends, it was scenery crew, it was such a laid back class, like that was literally the only thing keeping me afloat my senior year. Because that, Liv, Corey, I love you, you already know this. I thought my leg's just in frame because I have it propped. What a mood. So, scenery crew, let's dive into that a little bit. For those of you who know me, I'm very into musical theater. I was doing all my schoolwork today, jamming out to Les Mis. I know so much more French now. I don't know why it helped, but for some reason, Hugh Jackman was just like blessing me with his vocal cords. Oh, what a man. So let's just get into the more creative activities I did that year. They also sucked. Where do I begin? Let's keep going with before senior year. You know, I talked about me being a sequinette, blah, blah, blah. I tried out for captain. Don't get captain. I know you're shocked. My interview honestly sucked, so I completely understand why I didn't get it. But, like, at the same time, I was the second most qualified. The other girl was there for a year, and the other girl was there for a year, and then she was out a year because of, I think it was digestive issues. I really don't know. She just wasn't at school for a year, but she was, like, still a part of the sequinettes. Does that make sense? They're very kind people. I don't mean any diss to them. But as the year went on with sequinettes, I felt like there were definitely points where, how do I phrase this without sounding like an asshole? There were so many points where, like, no one knew what they were doing but me, and it was so disheartening to know that, like, I didn't get that position because of a bad interview, and I've learned from it. I wasn't too enthusiastic, and I need to be more enthusiastic. I know. Sometimes I didn't want to kiss anyone's ass. And as the year progressed, you as a senior, if you're in your senior year right now, you are going to see so many people who actually have talent, and then you're also going to see people who just kiss ass. And sometimes they get to the same place, sometimes one person goes farther. Anyways, the more I was like a part of this, watching from like the outside in, watching the captain's position, I realized that I did not want that because they were literally the director's puppets, like our dance choreographer's puppets, and like they didn't even come up with the routines. Can you believe that? Like, any of you in the marching band, I know there's like strict rules, but there's like a point where it's like she was just so controlling to the director. Rephrase that. She was so controlling to like our captains, and I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder I didn't get picked. I'm too independent for this shit. So, you know, Friday night games weren't that much fun for me. I absolutely loved the Toronto trip that we went on. 10 out of 10 would do again. Oh my god, Toronto. Please take me in your arms. If any of you guys live in Toronto and want to house me for a weekend, I'm down. What a good one. And so then also in sequinettes, my two arguably closest friends just graduated the year before me. So it was like me and my sister and then like a couple underclassmen that I was really close friends with. But in my grade, there wasn't too many, like I was all friends with them, but I wasn't like good friends. Like my good friends left. And if your good friends are leaving something, you're probably gonna have a shitty time at it. For example, my good friends Liv and Corey, who would do theater with me, both got jobs senior year. So imagine when the school musical comes around and your two best friends aren't in it. Guess how that went for me. Oh wait. It was so fucking shitty. It was literally hell. Not only did I not get the part I wanted, they gave it to soprano. You know who I'm talking about. I love you. But that part's for an alto. It's fine. When this turns into me shading everyone I graduated with. Oh gosh, no remorse. Our senior year show was Little Mermaid. I have a couple of vlogs on here about it. I absolutely loved the people that I was, like, that were in my cast with me. For the most part, I loved 99% of the directors. But let me tell you, what grinds my gears is doing a show in a part that you don't feel appreciated in. It fucking sucks. I got casted in a part with other 9th graders, aka I was one of Ursula's sisters. Loved them all to God, but it was horrible. I was expected to be the most skilled out of them, and I did have the most emotion on my face. I mean, I would say, and I had to like really pull a lot of energy out of them. And I was told this by my directors, that I had to almost lead them in a way because I was the senior. And I completely understand leading the underclassmen because of the experience like I've gained. But ooh, when you have like 3 freaking lines, it's really hard to lead someone when you don't even appreciate the part you've gotten. Also, I think what frustrated me was coming from Shrek, my junior year show, and I was the elf, never felt more like a character. Like, never embodied something more in my life. I absolutely freaking loved being the elf. Oh my gosh, if I could do it again, I would. So, 10 out of 10. It was absolutely amazing. But then, that, just in contrast to senior year, I think really also gave me depression. I cried a lot from having a horrible role. It could have been a lot worse. I could have just got the ensemble like some other seniors, and I'm aware of that. But you think as one of 3 people who lettered that year, you know, you'd feel better. Like, the only reason I felt like I was a part of that cast is because of the cast. Like, I didn't feel, when doing this show, I absolutely hated it. I wanted to quit. Seriously, there's been a couple times where it's like, I should have quit that. And if I would go back, I would have quit that. But it's done and over with. I'm happy for the relationships I've built with the people in that cast. So many of them are so freaking funny. If you were in that show, you're so freaking funny and you know it. And that was something else. Also, what grinded my gears? Tea. Oh, let's talk about a positive. So when I was in that show, they were comparing me and my sister to like this other family of sisters that like did really well in theater, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the compliment. Like, I just got compared to blank. How dare you? You're so sweet. That was nice. But what wasn't sweet was getting a worse role than my sister. I'm not saying, she was definitely deserving of the role, being one of the few people who could tap dance. She was Scuttles, by the way, and having a lower voice range, it worked for her. I totally get it. At that time, like, I think there was maybe 5 people in the whole ensemble that knew how to tap dance. It was not many. I'm out of my drink. Do I go and get more? Yeah, I'll do that in a sec. What made it worse, though, is just knowing that, like, she got my dream role. And I know I'm gonna sound like a jealous bitch here, but like, there's always that moment in one of my videos that I am. She got my dream She got my dream role in her sophomore year, and I couldn't even get close to that by my senior year. That's so fucking sad. Oh my god, the tears are flowing. We're gonna pretend this isn't happening. I'm gonna get more coffee, dry out my eyeballs, and be right back. And we're back. As I was gone, I was just thinking about what I've said so far, and I realized that I didn't mention about my stats. That second half of the year, they told me, well, I realized that I didn't mention how I tried dropping that class and they told me I couldn't because I had too good of a grade in it. And like, as a math person, like having a B in a math class makes me feel like I'm failing. Like I was failing myself. And you're like, Danielle, a B, what? People in that class had D's and you had a B? Yeah. And it sucked. You know, that was, senior year was one of the like breakdowns. Like, oh, Danielle, do you accept having a B and like give up all of your free time? Or do you take the B and get your free time? And inevitably, I took the B and got my free time. But I wasn't allowed to drop it because I was doing too good in that class. I literally had like an 81%. And I wanted to die. It's fine. I can't stand getting D's on papers because there's like some connection that's not working and then the teacher refuses to help you. Like they'll say how to help you, but they don't teach it. I'm someone who can teach myself, but when teaching myself's not working, you're the teacher. Teach me. Is that too much to ask? Okay. Okay, let's bring the fumes down a little bit. Oh, I put way too much sugar in this. So yeah, I tried switching second half of the year and I did. But I switched to a different teacher who I was told was supposed to be better. Personality-wise, I liked her a lot more. Grade-wise, I was too long gone. The teacher that I had first semester was a couple weeks behind her. I switched to that new class, and my love of my life's in there, Miles. God bless you, Miles. I love you so much. He's just a musical friend, and it was just so much fuckery in that class. That class got a lot better for me, but I still wasn't doing well with the material, and that was very disheartening. Except, I don't know how your girl did it. Sometime by the final, I got a high B, like almost an A, and I was looking at myself like, why am I doing so well here? And yet all this material's not doing well. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. Moral of the story, I urge you all to take calculus. It's amazing. I loved it. Oh, calc's so good. I would take that class again in a heartbeat. I don't even need to take a math course in my college right now, but I think I might just take it for a general elective because I loved calculus so much. I'm such a nerd, okay? Don't look at me. It's okay. So we talked about musical and how that was all over the place. The play went extremely well. By the end of the year when I had the time to direct on one act, extremely well again. I had a lovely cast. That was one of my highlights, definitely was directing one act senior year because I love them all. Jungle Queen Squad, I love you. Where to go from there? I talked about sequinets. I talked about stats. Talk about this. Should I talk about boys? I don't really talk about boys on my channel. Well, sometimes you just gotta risk it for the biscuit. So, I'm struggling to know if I should talk too much in depth about this because I don't want to invade people's privacy. And I'm gonna push the envelope a little bit, but we're not opening nothing. That's too much. Senior year. Okay, we need more explanations. Before senior year, I had one ex. Oh, I forgot about this ex. We'll talk about 3 of my exes, okay? Boyfriend number 1, number 2, number 3. The start of senior year, I was with boyfriend number 2, okay? And I dumped him because guess what? Oh, you guys aren't ready for this tea. I haven't really talked to people about this. Oh my god, you're all gonna flip your shit. So boyfriend number 2, I broke up with in mid to end October because boyfriend number 2 didn't get me a birthday present. I know what you're saying. Danielle, that's so materialistic and shallow of you. Yes, it was. It was very materialistic and shallow of me. But his birthday was maybe 3 weeks before, and I did so much for him. I bought him all of this stuff, and we went out. Oh, I'm not getting into it. That was a toxic relationship, and I ended it, and my life got better after that. I had like a brief like month of being a badass, and I really appreciated that self inside me. And I also think I was a badass because of how much stats was literally killing me, so I also like slowly turned gothic. Maybe this isn't, I don't know where I'm going with this. So that was shitty. Then, so boyfriend number 1, I broke up with in the spring, and he ended up passing away in the fall. Just let that sink in. I still have a lot of guilt settled around that. I'm not gonna go too in depth about it, but I have a lot of guilt because I was one of the few people who was like able to say goodbye to him. Because when you break up with someone, it's almost like you're like cutting things off, saying goodbye, end of deal. That's what it is. I also had a lot of dreams about him, but won't get into that either. Yeah, it almost just makes you feel like, I don't know where I'm going with this. It was just a rough time, and then so many people approaching me about it, and I'm like, I'm there, even feeling more guilty, because they're like, oh, what, tell me, blah, 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 and I'm like, yo, I broke his heart. Now he's dead, so why are you trying to make me seem like the best person out of this? Yeah, let's move on. Boyfriend number 3. I didn't mean to seem so heartless about all that. I just don't want to start bawling, so we're going to move on. So boyfriend number 3, okay, I started talking to in February. And you know, senior year, prom's coming up. It's in the back of everyone's mind. And we're all thinking to ourselves, ooh, who are we going to go to the prom with? And boyfriend number 3 was who I wanted to go to the prom with. So, we started talking in February. Didn't start dating until... When did we start dating? Oh gosh, I know some people delete their messages. I save them forever. Nothing like proof, am I right? Where are you? Oh, let's go back. Let's journey back into the depressing stage of my life. January, February, March, April. We started dating in April. We've been talking for a couple months now, gone on a few dates. Okay? April, proms in May, okay? Keep that all in your head. This is all very important. So, May hits. Well, look. So, April hits. It's a week into our official relationship, and I'm talking to him being like, oh, what are our plans for prom, after prom, all that, like, all that stuff, because it's a month out. Prom is a month out at this point. I don't know why I'm so triggered in this video. I'm sorry. And I just nonchalantly bring up, so like, what do you think our plans should be before and after prom? Because it was never talked out to me that the person you'd be dating might not be the person you're going to prom with. You ready for this tea? And I go, so do you think we should make any plans before and after prom? He goes, as a group? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, we could start coming up with plans. And I go, okay, well, I have a few plans in mind, some ideas. And get ready for this. The stuff here is better than Shakespeare, okay, guys? I have to tell you something. In November, I asked one of my close friends, that is a girl, to prom. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, I'm not going to prom with you, because I already have a commitment. Boy! We've been talking since February. Prom's a month out, and you're telling me now that you have a date to prom. You made a commitment with someone in November. Who makes a commitment with someone in November? So, here I am internally thinking, this is a joke. This cannot be real. There's no way this can be real. This is not my life right now. I start, and you wanna know what I do? I break up with his ass on the spot over text messages because I don't know why. I just love pathological liars. I mean, Gabby, Hannah, I relate, but why couldn't you just be honest with someone? Why couldn't you just tell them? I'll just turn on my camera. Why couldn't you just tell them that you were busy and you had a date? I don't know, maybe in February before you're like months invested in or in like a relationship that you've been like building up and then you're taking it slow. Oof. Oof. And you wanna know the best part? This happens after senior year. I'm in a good headspace. I've come to terms with it. I've forgiven this person. I talked to his date for prom. And you wanna know what she says? She had no idea that we were a thing. Yeah. She said, when I was talking to her, she's like, I heard that he started dating someone. And she told me at a grad party that he never mentioned me to her. You know, if they're close friends, why wouldn't you mention me to her? So, and then she said, once she found out, she assumed that we'd probably go together. But by the time she found out, I broke up with his ass because he didn't even mention me. What? What? Honestly, I love boys. This is why I had a girlfriend this summer. Okay. Let's just keep pushing. More on the serious notes. Now that you guys know the gist of my backstory of why my senior year made me crumble, I'm going to talk about what kept me pushing through it. Not really give too much advice. This is more of a story time, if you couldn't tell, being what are you, like 20 minutes into this video? So, what kept me pushing through it, guess what my favorite class was, other than my senior crew? That's right, AP English 12. British literature, favorite class. Why? I enjoyed it. It was the one class I was enjoying. AP Bio kept me afloat too, but only because of all of the hummus I would eat in that class. Hummus. And Kyle in that class, love you Kyle, he's the one who saved me and went to prom with me. After I probably cried to him. Kyle, did I cry in AP Bio? I think maybe once or twice. Kyle hated it. I would never study for anything and I would get the same grade as him, but he would study for 5 hours. Kyle, I love you. You're gonna go so far in life. Funny as shit, we got the same score on our final. I didn't study an ounce and he got and he studied like the whole night before, like weeks before. That kept me afloat. Miles kept me afloat. All the musical kids kept me afloat. What kept me afloat too, that I was like, I knew I wanted to make this video last night. I was laying in bed reflecting. And what really kept me afloat was my YouTube channel. Let me explain. I'm not going to be one of those people who are like, oh, YouTube got me out of my depression. Because it didn't. But it distracted me, okay? Let me explain. So, when you start, if you look back at my channel, I think it was around November, December of last year, I started posting roughly every single day. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Danny Ray, you told me yourself you were gonna cry. And, oh my god, when you say you're not gonna cry. Now I know how the YouTubers mean when they're like, I'm not gonna cry on camera, and then like 5 minutes later they're bawling at Laura Lee. Oh my gosh, let's pretend these are Laura Lee tears, guys. I'm not actually crying. Ugh! But I was posting every day because everything else in my life was shit. And like it wasn't the it didn't like help me be less depressed or anything. It would just distract me from how shitty my life was at the moment. And around that time too, I started sharing it. Oh my god, my voice just cracked. Around that time too, I started like sharing it with more people, which I didn't know how good of a response I was gonna get. Like, oh my god, it's fine. Why don't I have tissues up here? Like, once musical did start up, and I didn't have fun anymore, like, at Luigi, you're the person who actually told everyone about this. It was first year musical. It was the first day of musical, and you're supposed to tell everyone something about yourself. And Luigi stands up and announces to the whole cast that I have a YouTube channel because he was in my video with me. And honestly, that was life-changing without it even being life-changing. I could talk to people on like an internet level where it was like meme content, the best type of content, and we could like build a bond and share content over that. I was able to vlog and talk and just like be friends with the cast, see who they liked. They would watch my videos and I would get like a positive response. At you, Anna. My friend Anna goes, Danielle, I just love when you touch the camera. Like ASMR shit. Like when you monkey with the camera. That was some of the funniest crap I've ever heard. And I'll do it more just for you. Dead. But in all seriousness, I've had this YouTube channel for like 4 years and I've never seen any growth on it. And it wasn't until I started opening it up to the like people around me that it went from like 50 subs to like 200. And I couldn't be more proud about it. Like, and then I would post something and the whole cast would be so excited to watch it. And I love bringing joy to others. So it was just such a good time for me. Yeah. So that was a distraction. I lied, there is going to be advice in this video. If you guys are having any anxiety towards a class, or like an aspect of your life, so let's just say in general, do not, and I repeat, do not overthink it when you're laying in bed at night. Because I developed horrible sleeping problems, and it still affects me to this day. I'll get him. Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying again. I hate myself. I hate myself so much. Oh, it's fine. Like, I would get in bed. This is horrible. I would like get in bed and instantly my heart would start racing. Because I would think about, like, my classes tomorrow and how shitty my life was. And that's horrible. So if you can avoid thinking about tomorrow before you sleep, like, I'm someone who, like, lays in bed, reflects on the day before, and then plans for tomorrow. But if you're that type of person and you're in a bad headspace, don't do that. Because then you're just going to be up till 4 a.m. and you can't sleep. And then you're going to have mental breakdowns every night. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. That's my one advice, because I'll still lay in bed and my heart races and I just can't fall asleep sometimes. That's fine. And nowadays it's a lot better because my life's so much better. And like when I plan out my days, I can plan out like the good things that are gonna happen. Yeah. And also, I have gerbils. I have gerbils in my room, and like now I associate their wheel turning with my anxiety. So every time I hear them running on the wheel, it wakes me up. It freaking sucks. Well, I didn't know we were gonna get that deep. Okay. I I wore waterproof mascara today, or else this is gonna be 10 times worse. Thank you all for sticking through this. I hope I didn't make any of you cry. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I hope that you can relate to this and be like, wow, maybe feel better about yourself. I don't know. Get in a positive headspace. What else? In the comments below, if you want to share any of your stories, any of your thoughts, do any of your input. Maybe if you just started school and you need any tips for it to be better, I'll just reply to you directly, stuff like that. I'm gonna be talking about my college and how much better it is, so subscribe if you're interested in that and if that'll help you in some way. I hope I didn't bore you guys all to death with like with my terrible stories and some crying. Okay. Also, do you guys like the intro and outro? I put a lot of time in that and I'm actually digging it so much. Anyways. I don't know how to end this. Okay, bye.